Alrighty, hello out there again. We're on part 63. Notice here building again today. Kind of was a little tired. Also had some schoolwork that needed to be done this morning. We're gonna be kind of toning it down with everything over the next week because I have finals. You know how that goes. Still would like to do at least one per day, but I don't want that one per day to just be like sphere building. So it's kind of just going to sit in the background for about a week, week and a half maybe, and then we'll probably do some like larger sessions in the morning to kind of account for that. So we'll do like 5 a day for a little bit instead of 3 a day. That's not important right now. We're continuing our city building. So last time we've gone ahead and gotten like the funny like actual city district planned out. A couple like housing units, funny restaurant bar thing that connects down to this beach, another housing area, and then funny market area, which is where the bulk of our villagers that live in these areas are going to be working. Some of them will go to the bar because that's where I'm putting in my clerics, but a lot of these guys are going to be here. We also figured out that I could, in fact, renovate the inside of this hill to house about like 3 farmers and maybe a couple of other villagers as well, in order to, harvest our crops, have them redistribute across the rest of these guys, all that kind of stuff. And it makes sense. Like, it's pretty neat. A good idea thought of on the fly just by accident, but very good regardless. And yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and snag an extra shulker box to put some like odd bits and pieces away. But we can just go ahead and get started for today. So we're gonna be planning out the next couple of districts. I might even be able to get all of them done today, although that is kind of a stretch. But right now we're just doing some basic city planning, trying to figure out how we want to, put down everything. Like every building here that we have is, labeled, all that kind of deal. This needs to be hollowed out. You know how that goes. And yeah, it's really just a matter of making more shit down there. So we'll take some blue terracotta this time around. We'll probably dump away some of this extra garbage. And we'll take the blue terracotta and kind of map out some of these beach cottages. And we'll see how that goes. Be nothing too bad. It's literally just putting some stuff down. We can move some of the lighting here. But if you ever have a suggestion about, different houses or, anything like that, or maybe what I should be doing a little different in order to get some buildings done, please feel free to say something because it's cool to hear your guys' thoughts. And, why not? I mean, good to know some of these things. I have no clue what I'm doing, and it's always cool to hear a second opinion about this stuff. So, again, if you ever got a suggestion, just feel free to say it and kind of see if it would work or not. Probably will. This is, I could have a window on this side. These aren't going to be like the foundation blocks or nothing. Like it's going to be sunk into the floor, obviously. So it's just, mapping the outline. So all this would inevitably get torn down and then replaced with actual structure. So all this is just an outline. I just don't want to dip in any of the sand. Again, why it's kind of like that. Oh, 'cause I can't have the front door be there. So we could have like a window there. I think we can maybe get away with having some other shape. Do something like that. There we go. It's a little nicer. Have a nice little like L-shaped house here and there. And these ones are meant to be more like just like quaint little cottages. They're just, you got like a nice little like cozy vibe to them. I think I might try building a little bit of a larger one at some point, but I'd probably be nearer to there. I need to leave some empty space for the restaurant area and all that, so we can maybe fit in like another house before we start encroaching on that, which There we go. I'd say something like that's a nice size floor. Plenty of space to do stuff, or even enough space to fit in like a small staircase. I think if I wanted to make this 2-story. But most of these will be 1-story, but we might have the odd like 2-story here or there. That fits in quite a nice number. Maybe like 3 or 4 at most. Be interesting. So we'll kind of leave this as, leave some empty area over here, maybe put in another. And it's just trying to see how it goes. It ain't going too bad. I'm gonna have to make sure to can't be blocking up the there's gonna have to be a dedicated like walkway at some point to make sure I don't block up too much. As in I can't be blocking this stuff up over here. And the entrance is baked into the wall, so like, we're gonna have like a little bit more clearance. And I'd say that's probably far back enough so we can start kind of connecting. Save away a little bit of that. There we go, another nice sized house that can be done. And because this one's tinier, we'll probably just have this be like a 1-wide door instead of a 2-wide. And these are more like houses, and that one's more just kind of like a nice little cottage or whatever. We won't be building any houses or structures really out by the swamp. Well, we can kind of do something. I think I can probably build more of a because these will be more like beach houses and all that kind of shit. So I think I could probably do more of a little like witch hut-esque kind of thing out in this area because it's by the swamp. But that kind of depends. I doubt it. I'm probably not gonna do it honestly. But we do have a nice bit of empty space here that I could work with. So we'll kind of keep that in the back of my mind. Not gonna do it now. We got something else we can do if we really do. And then we got like our last little house here. We could have like another like tinier cottage. We'll probably have the entrance be like back here. So it'll be another 1-wide. Just a nice simple little square one. Guess we can condense that just a little bit. There we go. Now, you might notice too that a lot of these are like tiny, and that's kind of the point, is they're not supposed to be like massive, they're supposed to have like a nice little density, but they got enough empty space to do stuff with. Because I don't have like, I have quite a nice chunk of land, but the main issue is being able to like put enough of these houses together. So it actually looks nice. So a lot more of these are going to be like this one, and that one will be like a big house, but the other two, mainly that one and that one with the 1-wide doors, those ones are a lot more like, nice, cozy, like little cottages. Might like have like a loft inside of one of these, so like tiny little kitchen down here. And for the kitchens, we're going to be using furnaces and not smokers. Well, it kind of depends. You might have smokers in some of these, but it's got to be very specific because again, it still counts as a workstation, so I had to be a little careful. But in like one of the tinier houses like this, we could have like a nice tiny like compact kitchen. And then they could have like a loft area up here where they're able to actually get to their bed like on a 2nd story with a nicer like view. And I want to use colored terracotta for the walls here, but there should be a nice way I can combine it with some like white blocks as well. Like I want there to be a well, I don't know if it's gonna be a thing yet or not, but for like the pathway connecting all these houses up together to here, I want to use like those quartz bricks or whatever. Like the rest will be sand, but the quartz bricks I think could look really cool. And then we'll probably use some concrete on each of the walls that are like this will be like a concrete, like this will have like white concrete. This one could have like red. This one could have like a nice like sea like light blue or something like that. Because these kind of beach houses I want to have actually have like color and whatnot, a nice bit of color. And I'd have to find a reference picture, but kind of got an idea I'm going for. But we'll find out if that works or not. That's a lot more city stuff. These are just nice little like vibrant like beach houses that are like kind of nice and cute and kind of chill out inside of one of them, not have to worry about life. But this is just a beach. Like this is just for being a beach. So we don't really we could have like maybe a house kind of the side here, but that's supposed to be a mining village inside the cave, not like out here. You can maybe have a little bit poking out into here, but for the most part, it should be in here. Then we would have like a bunch of decoration for like ore refinery. So I think that's our second district done. I mean, that's 4 houses. There's a nice, bit of space with a nice walkway. It'll be 3 blocks wide. The entrance is actually going to be baked into the wall here, so we don't have to don't worry about that. But we have a nice little bit of free space here as well. We could have like a couple of chairs just looking out, or this could actually be a great place as well to have the like a fishing dock that connects out to the fishing village, because we got a nice bit of ocean here to work with. And then we can also either have more of the village over here, or we can have it start here and then kind of branch out from a central point, something like that. I do want that fishing village, but that'll probably be one of the things we build last, because that's something that needs to be built from the ground up. Like I literally am gonna have to go get wood and campfires. And, like, I'll also have to like test like making like different paths out of like different logs and textures and all that shit. 'Cause I need a floating pathway in that water there that looks good, and that's also like very easy, like easy to tile, like it's tileable, so I can just like it would be like 2 wooden logs and then like a campfire in the middle, and then see if they're able to comfortably walk across that. If they aren't, what can I switch out to make them be able to comfortably walk across it? Things like that. So it'll kind of depend. We'll have to see. I think it'll be cool. But yeah, second little district done. We just need mining village, the very steep area over here, which, as I've talked about, there's a real chance I'm gonna probably rework some of these to be a lot flatter, so we can grow some like very big trees and actually get some trees growing up to farm some wood. So like here, for example, could be a nice spot for like a big tree. Um, well, maybe not. I don't know. Like I'm always still kind of on the fence about it, but I do know they need somewhere to probably grow some wood. Just don't know quite where that should be, but it's gotta be somewhere. And here's probably about the only place I can really think of that would be. What I might be able to do is rework the beach here, right? So when you get to this part, instead of it being the whole way through, it kind of like starts curving back into grass. And then eventually this whole bottom part becomes like, grass, and then eventually it'll curve back into being dirt up here. So it'll be like a lot of dirt here. It might actually be a solid spot because it is pretty flat, so I could reconvert a lot of this back into grass and dirt, but still have some sand. So like, you'd have it be like a little bit thick with sand, but then it would start getting thinner and thinner until it like thinned out really hard over here. And then as it starts like curving back into this beach, it starts to like bulk out a little bit. But those aren't houses, so it doesn't count. Don't need to worry about it for today, or at least for now. We'll go ahead and maybe go get some different color terracotta for now. Now we've used pink and dark blue, so we've got like 8 other like colors to work with, I think. We'll go ahead and just pop some of this away. We'll probably work with yellow here, I guess. We got lime terracotta we can work with, and orange terracotta. So we got another 2 colors we can choose. And then we've also got like magenta, purple, and white. So we got another 3. So we got 5 other colors we can work with before I have to go pick other. It should just be enough. We'll have some castle-y bits sticking out of this, but we'll worry about that another time. Because then I also have to, build a castle. There we go. I guess we'll probably get at least some of the because a lot of these are gonna be like baked into the walls and whatnot. We'll flatten out certain parts of this stone, like here. I guess will probably be like a whole flat thing, so that way it just slopes back into here. And we're just gonna go ahead and get rid of all the Enderman blocks. But a lot of this cave is gonna need to be widened out. So I'll have to do that at some point. And we are currently on day 647. That's pretty nifty. I forgot to do my daily check of everything. Don't think we're having any issues with the gunpowder farm, but I should probably go check on that. Like some stuff just activated. I might be a little bit too close to it for the moment. Oh no, there we go. Nice bit of creepers just came out. We'll go check on the shulker shell farm really quickly, see how that's pumping. Didn't have anything to worry about, but I just need to double check. We might actually, because this is all just decoration land, right? So what we might actually do, because I think this is the only other like good viable spot. Um, I can do a lot more terrace work. Like I can mean like really fucking bulk these out. But we'll leave this one to be mine, like this side here. But this side over here specifically, I think we need to repurpose this to grow some more. Because then that also gives me incentive to like work more on this shoreline and maybe like do my dock and also have like a point connect from here to there, build up with grass so that I actually get a lot more flat land to work with for myself. So we might end up doing that. Well, not might. We honestly most likely are. So we'll be able to rework, and also I can rework this part here into an actual whole ass forest if I want to. That could be pretty cool. And we need to actually be able to see. We have our minecart. Yes, we do. You can see one of the sight lines, so they should be dropping here pretty quick. We got a shulker bullet flying around. We got a shulker in there that's looking around. He dropped. We're getting shuffled out. We're still good. Alrighty. But we're gonna probably repurpose a lot of this into new like areas. So I can have a little bit of a forest on this coastline, and um, we need to make sure it doesn't interfere with the iron farm either at some point. But I don't think that it'll be terrible. I don't want to tear this down or move this either. That's the other thing, because you know how much of a pain in that would be. So we'll pretty much have to leave this coastline intact, and then like this coastline can be like bulked out just a slight little bit, but it shouldn't get any like it really should only get maybe like a block or two like longer this way for here. It shouldn't really get any longer past this, and then it'll start sloping to there. Um, the height should be fine as well. Like if I added some more like blocks going up a little bit, it shouldn't interfere with this neither. And if it does, it's kind of an issue because then obviously the iron farm don't. So we'll have to keep that in mind. And I don't think the zombie can actually like scare anything over here if I were to do that. But if it does, I'm sure I could just like connect these glass bits up just a little bit more so only these like 6 villagers can actually see it. So that's still got a nice fix to it. Don't have to worry about that. But yeah, we'll probably extend this coastline out quite a nice bit, connect it over to there. That gives me incentive to work on this part and actually make it a little bit more of a beach, and same thing with the part over there. But if I end up doing that, um, I guess I can have more of an inner wall that keeps them away from like my area. So I still get like a quarter now instead of half. So here, let me see if I can do it really quickly. So they'd get this whole area. Like I'd still block them off from getting on the ice road and all that kind of stuff. And I'd block them off from actually being able to access this bridge specifically, or at least the fence gates that this part is connected to. So they would get this whole coastline, and then somewhere about here is where it would be blocked off, and then I get anything in like this chunk, like all that is still mine. So I still get like a nice quarter of like this land that would be mine, which is good because again we have it cut off up there, so they can't actually do anything to get to. And then if we cut it off at about like here-ish or something, They couldn't get to me neither there. And then I just don't want them running around with my like sheep or nothing, so we'll have to rework a lot of the terrain later. I won't really map out too many of the buildings in the mining area just because of the fact that a lot of those are going to be like kind of baked into a cave, so there's nothing there to map out. They're not going to really be protruding. It's a lot of holes I need to hollow out, and I don't want to do that today, so we'll probably just go ahead and go back to our original idea, or at least for this area, we'll go back to our original idea, which is mainly we need a ton of shit baked into the side of this mountainside. They can have beach access, I think, but I'm kind of debating if that's actually a good idea or not, so we'll hold off on that. It probably could be. What I could do is, for some of these lower mids, like we'll go ahead and just carve this away, just so I can demonstrate a little bit better. But basically, we would have like kind of an entry point baked into the mountainside here, and then we'd have maybe another one baked into the mountainside here. Like we would get rid of this curtain as well. And then what we would do is we would kind of hollow a little bit of this out. Here, we'll just go ahead and actually do that now. We'll just take just a little chunk. There we go. And then, we would use some of the sand here. Reconnect all these and make sure these are all still sand instead of dirt. There we go, something like that should be pretty solid. Something don't feel quite right. That's better. It's because this is flat too, and this corner looks a little like wacky and unsupported. Oh yeah, that looks a nice bit better. Alrighty, and we'll maybe carve that just a little bit more. Like that. There we go, I'd say it's a pretty fair fix. But yeah, we would basically have like an entrance here that would and it would have like a staircase and all that on the inside, but then it would lead back up into some more of these houses up here. So like one thing, for example, is we'd probably have that go into this mountain, and then it'd have like a nice spiral staircase like we did with the lighthouse, and an actual house up here. And then we would have like we'd have like an actual doorway to said house like here. So we'll take some time to maybe bulk this out just a little bit. Do something like that. There we go. And then, we'd fill in the walls correctly and all that. But we would have some kind of spiral staircase that could go in. It's just some basic slabs and all that kind of stuff. So we should actually probably do a little bit of that kind of work now. Okay, so a couple of notes. A little bit too high. Seem to have exited out at a bad point. Alright. Easy enough fix. Probably another like 6 blocks or something. I'd probably do it. Go down 8. There we go. And you know, we would obviously be decorating a lot of the walls and whatnot too. Just don't need to do that now. And this acts as our central pillar. So what we do is we go ahead and hollow that out. And then we'll go ahead and build this up, and then we just hollow this whole bit out. And here we go. That's good enough. We got our spare shulker box, so we can go ahead and dump in some of this extra crap. And then we would just do the same thing for this bit over here, where we would have a nice, like, small, like, flat part up here, but then the rest of these houses are kind of baked into, like, that little dirt bit. That one up there might have one a little bit lower as well. We have some maybe baked into the side of the mountain / castle thing up there. The whole point of them is that they're all kind of like connected by a thread, basically. And by a thread, I mean the shittiest fucking like rickety bridge you've ever seen. And you know, that's cool. That ought to work out fine enough. Just a little bit. But we'll go ahead and get the rest of this all carved in. Here we go. You know, we'll switch the terracotta out later, but we would literally just have a spiral staircase of just slabs or whatever. I could probably even do that now. Give me a second. It'll be more of a placeholder-y kind of slab, but slab nonetheless to see if it's a good proof of concept. If slabs don't work, we're going to be using a mix of staircases and slabs, by the way. So I'm not sure if there's actually going to be enough height to make it in time. If, you know. And they've got enough headroom here to clear it very comfortably. I just don't know if they're smart enough to actually know how like something this tight should work, you know. We'll find out the hard way. It's not like if they ever don't use it, then at least I could like section it off and use it for myself, but so it's not a complete waste of material or not. But I would like them to be able to kind of go up and down a little bit freely. It just kind of depends if they literally can or not. Either way, their all their houses will still be like connected, so they can still get in between with each other and all that. They just won't be able to like come down. Like they'll be like truly their own like isolated little. Not, yeah, just fine enough, I guess. And then we'll just go ahead and head back down. Yep, we got a nice bit of headspace. We are kind of not lighting anything by accident, but we maybe add a couple of torches here. Here we go. We'll make just a couple more slabs. And we'll go check on the XP farm at some point. Yep, funny spiral staircase. And I'm holding off working on the sphere just because I really don't want to be honest. I'm kind of had enough of it. I'm getting burnt out of it, so we're taking an extended break from that while I work finals. Just because, why not? Now, unfortunately, this is quite wacky. There we go. I just wanted to match up on this side as well, which is done that. So we'll go ahead and kind of curve this just a little bit. Build this up just a smidge. I could also have it kind of come into here as well if needed. All you can do is kind of replace this just a little bit. And would this still be okay? Yep, it would. They're shorter than that, so they shouldn't have too hard of a time figuring that out. Something like that be okay. Yes, okay. And then we'd have like something like physically blocking them off so they couldn't over that. We'd probably, extend this part up just a little bit to give them some more like ground to work with. But I think we'll have a nice connection point here. We can bake some of it onto this side of the mountain as well as over here. So what I'll probably do is kind of have some kind of support. So just to kind of like model it just a slight little bit, it would basically just be like some supports kind of coming out of the wall. And we'll use like a mix of like stairs and logs as well. But mainly we'll I'll map it out better and all that too. But this is just to demo it a little bit. So they'd come out to the same height, and then on the center beam, we'd probably have like a 3 wide path would be good. So it'd be 3 blocks wide on the center, and then you would just simply like drag it out however long you need, so it's a wide enough road for them to go on. And then when we get to some of these bends, we just curve it just a little bit. So we would do like a corner missing and then a corner over here. And then we'd still have our fences connect them up in order to make a proper bend. And again, this is all just placeholder materials for now. So we would have it kind of connect back up with this wall. We'd have to change the orientation of that one to be like sticking out of this wall here. Just, obviously because, we need to get rid of this, so of course we change the orientation, but you get the idea. We'll actually do that now just to proof of concept. Here we go, something like that. So, and you can see how it would support. We'd have these kind of like spaced out pretty evenly. I guess Rickety Bridge wasn't quite the right way to do it. We'll have it more for the houses, but we gotta have something like a little stable. But I think this kind of design is cool. We have like nice like supports, and then material up here to actually connect certain parts, and actually add some like flat land up here. So I should be trying to leave the overall shape of the mountain intact. We have like a house that kind of like juts out here and there, but the like here for example, right? So what we could do is we would connect this up, and we'll extend this part of the bridge out just a little bit. And then we would add like another support, like probably like right about here. There we go. We do something like that, and then we would connect that up. And some of this has to be hollowed again, but you get the picture. It won't be here, because it's in kind of a wacky spot. But for example, we would have like a house here, and then this is where like their house would be kind of like baked into here. So you could have like a second story like floor with like a little balcony overhang, just kind of hang. We could probably have like a house baked into this side of the mountain here, maybe another one just sprung up even higher. You can see the idea that we're going for here. So I think the next thing I should probably do is, instead of working on the road work, which was just to demo the idea, what we're probably gonna do instead, and we'll have a fifth one, like we'll have an extra like lane sticking out for the fencing, but that'll just be like upside down stairs, and then they have like the fences on top of them, so nothing to really worry about, not too. But we need to pick out some nice flat parts like that up there would be a good one, and we need to get more of these kind of outlines set up so I know where to start building my house. Here, for example, and we're just throwing them down. Like these aren't going to be too thought out, and that's kind of the point. So they're all like kind of like wacky and going everywhere and what. So then I can like actually take it as a challenge to like reconnect all the and all that. That'll be cool. That one's a good one there. Maybe like carve out just a little bit of the carve out a nice chunk of the mountain here. There we go. And you see how this works. I just had to make sure to have everything lit up nicely. And then we'll have like the proper roads and connecting them and all that kind of good shit. So if I do need staircases at some point, I'll probably like bake it into some of the houses in the back sides of them. But I want to try and at least avoid that. We could probably have them slope up at some point, like these outer roads, but it just might look a little wacky. That's not too... Something like that. Get rid of these. So. Go pick another part to demolish here would be good. And then we could have like a little thing kind of over in here as well. Or I could actually have it double as like a nice little like balcony area or whatever. This will probably be a staircase that leads up to a nice little connection point up in here. So we'll have to rework a tiny little bit of this, since they will be stepping up into here. We'll have to keep that in mind in the future here. Not too bad, luckily. So, so then our other big step would be kind of connecting these up with each other by just somehow. So we could have like kind of a main road like that, and then just kind of connect them when it's necessary. Because they should pretty much only be able to get onto the main road, and if they ever want to come down to here, there's only like one real way for them to come down to here. And it's, here specifically. We'll make some more coal. I also need to go make more torches, but all of the yellow holes up here are representing the, I think we'd have another one. All these yellow holes represent some nice cliff faces I'd want to work with. Here we go. That should be pretty much the last one for the time being. But yeah, this side, because of how big it is going to actually contain the main bulk of the houses as well. Since there's a little bit of empty space, we might try and squeeze one in here or something. Keyboard being slow, please stop. I don't appreciate that. No, it's not time to replace the batteries yet, so Here we go. We need some more wood. But yeah, that's kind of the rough shape I'd like to work with here. So the main issue, or not issue really, but the main challenge is going to be connecting like that to that to that. Connect all of them up, and then also have some like parts that can go up higher, and then also connect these with each other. And we could, like, for these two, they can get connected up pretty easy, and then they can round a corner like up here to connect to that one. And in fact, because of how thin I want these to be, these might be like too wide at most. So like you would have like the one part where they actually walk, which would be the inside lane here, and then the outer part, which would have their fencing and all that, so they can't fall off and all that. So this would probably be as wide as these go, and then it would just kind of connect downwards at some point back into here. Then we round this corner while it goes up. So it would kind of come down to here to meet up with this part, and then goes out flat a little bit, and then it'll go up until it's about this height. And then we would turn the corner. If it's not already at this height, we'd meet it up to be at this height. Is that 3 blocks wide? Nope, it's 2. Alrighty. And then, yeah, we should actually probably make these 2 wide, because I think that one is a little bit too thick. So we'll probably like shorten these out to be 2 wide. The only reason I wanted those to be bigger was to make him like, be able to comfortably like walk. But the whole kind of point of this area is for it to be like very thin. So if we really need to, we can make it 3 wide, but that means like the outer one will be for fencing, and then the inner one has to be hugging the side of the mountain. So that way it actually leaves 2 blocks wide of space. Turning down the music because this shit's starting to get loud and ticking me off a little bit. There we go. It's a nice little bit of planning. So we'll, we'll shrink this quite a bit, and so it's connecting up with the actual side of the mountain, and then we'll use some slabs for, the slopes and all that stuff. Now, like that one that's way up high and that one as well are going to be a little wacky to try and connect. That'll be an interesting challenge when that's ready. I don't want to do this too often. This was just to connect it down to there. I also need wood. Do I have extra wood? I got sticks. Good enough. I need coal. I need torches, rather. Okay, I got some. We need to go pick up more yellow terracotta if I actually want to do any more. But I think we're actually fine here. I got the idea. Do here, so I don't really need to. And then we should have torches. Yeah, there we go. So they'd be able to come up to here, and then there would probably be like a staircase part that like fades into here, and then all this would be walled off. Here we go, like something like that. Again, we can fix the finer bits later. But it's just a rough idea for now. Not too much more to do. Oh, then we'd have another one baked into that side at some point. Oh, we'll leave the mountain for now. We'll probably come back. We'll come back to it at another date. But let's go work on the other part over there, which is the outlining. If I get all the outlines done, I will probably start like working on buildings today. So we'll work on the cityscape, and then then we can start working on all the other areas. And then once all the buildings are done, that's when also. Damn, this thing has been pumping out gunpowder. Good God. That's 5 stacks and then 50 on top of it, and it hasn't even been an hour. That's very good to see. Love to see it, but yeah, we'll just keep producing, like, what I was gonna say actually. But yeah, we'll just, we'll maybe add like another like one into there a little bit. Oh, actually no, not quite. We might be able to. Oh, that actually would be perfect. You see how this part kind of like matches up with this part over here? I bet we could create a tunnel from there going all the way over into here. So that'd be another kind of a shortcut per se to go in between those two areas. So instead of having to come down the lighthouse down here and then up this staircase to come over to here to this side, what we can do is we should be able to just straight up dig a tunnel in between like where this bridge is and then where the other side is, because it should be inside to the mountain. We'll just make this 3 wide. We can kind of replace some of the dirt as we go. Maybe add in a little bit of dirt here. And we'll put in some grass up here to get rid of all the coarse dirt and what. And the podzol, we have to get rid of the podzol, but it's this part. Part was useful for something after all, I guess. Here we go, we do something like that. Now, we actually should be close to, yeah, here we go. Now, if I'm not mistaken, this was, yes, oh, that's literally perfect, nice. So this is actually a really good way to, connect these up, unironically. That ended up working out really good. So we would connect the wooden beam back down into here. And then, we would do a couple of different things up here. They won't be getting up here, by the way. This is just, this was just natural, like, cave and whatnot. So this area is, like, completely negligible. We don't talk about what's up here, because nothing's up here. It's literally just empty space, so it can just kind of be forgotten about. There we go. Go ahead and seal off a lot of that. And then, as for this stuff down here, same deal. There, doesn't really need to be anything down here. Since this was also just part of the natural landscape as well, so we'll go ahead and seal off a nice chunk of this. We'll go ahead and make sure this room is just a little bit even enough scale. And all this is stuff that can actually be replaced. Now this should dip into some other stuff, so we need to be a little careful what we rearrange up here. We're making all these walls stone for the moment, because, it looks good, and it's a nice, like, kind of safe block. It's just generic looking. Go too wrong with normal stone. And that was convenient. We can have like a little like area in here or whatever. Or I could always shorten this out and just have it be like a tunnel, but we can probably have like some stuff in here. But yeah, we got a nice little cut through point between the city part and this like other like mountainside like part as well, so that's pretty nifty. Don't have to worry about that. And of course, we'd have something change there if we wanted to. And I don't want to walk around on the actual like mountainside because it's more just for decoration. So certain things need to be 2 blocks tall. And we'll go ahead and maybe readjust the some of this. I don't want it to protrude out quite as much like I talked about. So for like something like this, for example, we'd probably just have like a little bit here so we can, put in some fencing and then just slope them back into place, to a too wide. See that. And then we'll just use some mossy cobble and some other like cobblestone and whatnot. Represent our fences that we're gonna have. We'll get them in place later. Just need something for the moment. Here we go. Do something like that. So we would have like a solid thing here. So then it would limit him to this 2 wide, and then a fence that would eventually like limit him to be closer to the side of this mountain here. These are all like fences or cobblestone walls. And then we pretty much just drag this around as needed. So we'll go ahead and take out these old supports. We know what we want them to look like, the kind of style of them. It's just the problem is they don't exactly fit here like this anymore. So we'll probably re-add them in some form later, just not quite as large as all or as bulky. And we can actually you can probably extend this path to go farther into the mountain and then come out over like here maybe should be good. Actually not even quite over here. Um, this needs to be just pushed back just a slight little bit. Okay, somewhere about here would be good, right? Where beam it has to go. We'll use yellow terracotta for now, but we'll get rid of it later. Close enough. I think I can still work with this, so I'll go ahead and make this a little bit taller, make this a little bit wider, or something like that maybe, and then we fill this back in. Oh man, I wish I could have just... I wish I built this over just a single block more, would have probably helped out a lot. Well, I guess I can kind of circumvent that. We can go out just a little bit, you know, widen the building a little, then actually have it here. Because I want there to be just, you know, a little bit of a separation here. That way this part will still look nice. We'll have to put some lighting down here soon. And you know, we'll be putting in actual like staircases and all that as well. Like that, probably. Here we go. It's very rough right now, but I'm just trying to do a lot of this. And you know, we can always get the rest of it later. It's really not too big of a deal. I'm doing this for fun, so I can cut myself as much of a break as I want to. Go ahead. Just seal away a little bit more of it. Nice little part here that needs oh, so we do that. Alrighty. And then, you know, this is a building, so we'd, you know, make it a building. That. So we'd give it a, we'd cap it off with a proper roof, all that kind of good shit, but they've got a straight shot towards, you know, towards this staircase, which will connect back up with a lot of the main roads, so... Yeah, so now we got a way down to this beach because of this staircase, and then if they wanted to, they come up that staircase. They'd come up through here, and then you could just pop up over into here if you wanted to, and boom, you're in the city area. But if you wanted to obviously go over to the other side of this mountain, then you pop in through here, and then go down here. If you want to go down to that beach, boom, now all of a sudden you're in the funny like mountain like houses in the mountain you're overlooking. So now like the big part now is figuring out how do we want to expand this, because we've got our dimensions for the walkway here, but it's a little weird because sloping around some of the landscape's going to be a little tricky. Like going down is no big deal. It's going outwards, but also maintaining the proportions is going to be a little bit weirder. I think it should still be easily doable. I just gotta actually sit down and think a little bit. So we probably would like move it there. Just try not to dig into this too much, by the way. Probably move it to there. So now we've got our new kind of fence line here, and we want it to connect up with this. So we should actually probably get this set out as well. Again, we make this 3 wide. Here is our, fencing layer and all that. We'll use dirt if I gotta. Oh, that's right, it's down here. And it's not gonna be stone, it'll be something else. We'll probably use like dirt or something. But we need to also make sure to take care that this doesn't stick out too particularly much like a sore thumb. So we might use for the lower bits, like down by here, we might use like sandstone maybe for some of these. I doubt it. But having some shit that blends in with the dirt without, obviously being dirt would probably help out a lot. So we're gonna also have to keep that in mind as well. Do something like that. And then it would turn. Okay. Now we'll start using dirt for the fences here. It just needs to be some kind of fence block or something to represent it. If I know what to do. We still got our 2 wide part going through. We'll probably start to raise it, and then we'll have it kind of dip into here. So they'd have to get funneled in over to here more or less as we start getting ready to this area. And then they meet up with this area, and it's pretty cool. Alrighty. So, you can comfortably, again, stairs and all that. This is just protruding out. It's probably going to be baked in a little bit more into the wall, so kind of a temporary oversight, I guess. But you can get comfortably from this house over to here, and then, you'd be able to come up to here, turn, now you're over here. And we have a small issue of we need to maybe turn a little bit. I mean, you can see how long it would even take for a staircase to match up to this part. How we'd end up overshooting it by that point. So we need to kind of turn it just a little bit. That, we do that. That. Again, sticking out, so only a temporary thing. And then we probably would get ready to turn it over into here. Not intention. Go. We're getting there. So they'd come up to here. Probably would have the turn. At the turn here, and then these would be, these will be fenced off. And then that's how we connect it back up as well. And then we'd kind of inset it just a little bit. We'll have some slabs. A lot of these will be stairs, but then we need to have slabs at this part up here more or less so it connects up a little bit better. Well, mainly like it'd meet up to here, and then we'd have this slab here, and then like another slab would go right. That actually is really wacky, because this goes directly into this fucking house. Might not even be a house at that point, honestly. We might remove the house part that's supposed to be in here and maybe replace it with a better bridge. The other issue I'm gonna have is I need a nice way to connect up with this walkway that is directly above me. And it's a little difficult because, it's up there. So what we're going to try and do is we'll put something like that up, and we'll add in a little bit more leeway over to here. And we'll just go ahead and do one other thing. We'll go ahead and kind of expand these out, and we'll kind of split it up into 2 staircases, more or less. These parts will be top slabs, so there's more like height and whatnot. And we can kind of block up some. Let's see, there's be getting up here. I want the dirt, or I want the grass rather, which is why we're doing that. Because we're just going to shift all this up like a block. We'll probably shift that a little bit later. But you can see kind of what we're going for. And then since this area up here is pretty negligible, we can kind of block that off just a little bit. Here we go. we go. So then, we'd have some staircases connecting up into here. And then we just mirror the exact same thing. Right up to there. There we go. Alrighty. Oh, we'd have some stairs that would lead up into here, and then they'd flatten out at here, and then they could just simply, walk up, and then boom, they're up here now. So that means this part can actually get cut back, and we can section that a little bit. There we go. We section that off. And have like a little like garden, or just like we could plant like a tree or something here. I don't know. Since this can't quite be a house anymore, we need to redo a little bit. That's all right. Mine's still pretty nicely intact, so not too much to worry about. What's in my grow bag? So should be able to comfortably walk up from down there and up. I'm gonna walk from all the way down there. It goes down to here. It comes into here. We got a house here. It'll kind of dip back in, and then we come over to here. And while we're here, we have to kind of go up here, and then this place ends. But then we've got this part over here. So now we just have kind of another section. Go through. But we're nearly there. Not too much more, I think. Then this doesn't need to go down anymore. And then we'd have a chunk of this wall that needs to be taken out. We're gonna give that a little bit, and then we'd actually raise it up here. And then it would meet up with this part. Now, block choice, again, like I said, for the path and the fencing is going to be very important because, it's a bit clunky, and because it's stone, it's going to look awkward, but I've pretty much made it as thin as I realistically can, because any thinner, they're going to be, like, kind of crunched together, and we really do not want that. I want them to actually be able to kind of comfortably walk around. So this is about the most space I can realistically work with, so then they can come up to here just fine. Then we come up to here, we've got another house, and then we've got the actual connection point back. So now what we need to do is connect those two up. I'll eventually have one on that side, and then the pathing ought to be pretty much all done. I go ahead and take a little peek. We'll go down to the nothing should kill me, by the way, here, but we'll switch out our chest plate. Alright. No, it'll be tucked in pretty well. Again, block choice is going to be very important, but it's thin enough to where it's not like really protruding out, so you can probably work with this fairly well. You get another. Oh wait, no, Dex, I'm too close. Well, I'm barely too close. But no, yeah, this could work out pretty well. Again, we have some of our supports here and there. We can terraform some of the landscape if absolutely necessary to kind of match up like on the underside, but we have to be very careful with that. Entrance that goes up into there, and then we have path that goes all the way around. I did not connect. Oops. Well, that path might actually, well, because I wanted to connect back up. Shit, I completely forgot that. Oh. You know it's not gonna be easy, but I think I should technically be able to reconnect that up, kind of back up into this part. If I can't, it's no big deal. I'll just have a stair bit that kind of comes out and leads to there. Um, I don't want to have another back end staircase. I like actually being able to show off this kind of shit. Or if needed, I can have that part curve around and meet up here. That should also give me enough height to work with, so we'll try that one instead. How much are we working with here? Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stacks of gunpowder. This was a very good farm. I'm glad I built that. I'll go ahead and just reconnect really quick. There we go. Good. Alrighty. And you know the deal. We'll just go ahead and connect this part up into there. Block choice is important, so we'll be switching out all the stone with probably some like wood or something. Like specifically, like we might use stripped oak logs or not oak, spruce logs. But I need something. I need something pretty similar to, and or it actually might even be stripped dark oak, but we need something similar enough to the dirt, but obviously like visually distinct because it's not going to be fucking dirt that we're going to be building this out of. But we'll go ahead and bring this back up. To turn. We have enough space to turn. Sorry, this is like a total fucking mess now, but you know, we'll rework some of the terraforming at some point. Won't look this ugly forever, probably. But no, it actually won't. And then we would just have, we'd have a, well, that's going to be too much height, so we might have to settle for a dodge. Where this would go. We'll have to do a comb over on a lot of the lighting to make sure that everything's fine. I'm breaking a lot of these by accident. Alright, that counts. Be good. Oh, we go ahead and just trench a little bit out here. There we go. Oh, that's right. That's for our fencing. And we need to actually have fencing up here at this part. This is just another house. That's why this is connected the way it is. We won't have a way down to here. We'll just, because it's already connected up to there, we don't really. We'll work on a lot of the landscaping later. It's just a lot of the rough shape of the staircase I needed. So one other thing is we'll build this up just a smidge, just for, you know, fences and all that, you know how that goes. And then we should be able to get pretty much to any house other than the top two, just by taking this main path pretty much. That's pretty neat. Infrastructure is nice, pretty wacky. Should be able to have every villager connected up safely. So, we'll have some of our terraforming will have to be completely redone to match up to some extent. It'll probably just be steep, like very, very steep. Like it'll literally just be like a simple like dirt wall going down, and then maybe we bulge out a little bit. But the whole point of this was for it to be steep, so it's gonna be steep, and that's okay. And we'll use sand for this part, obviously, so it'll match up with the sand aspect. And same thing, steep, just very steep. We'll blend it in properly, but it needs to be steep. Should be able to walk up here and go up to that I fucking want. Again, other than the top two, and that third one that has yet to be actually built. So head up to here. If I want to go down, go ahead and go down here. And we got this house now, so that's cool. And then it's just going to be baked in, so we'll push it back by one so we get actual full access. But it shouldn't all be like congregating at like one building. And then, we come up to here, we can get to the city that way, but if we go this way, house, do a little bit more lighting as we go on our way. Well, not actually house, this is just the other connection part. And then, we'd come down to here, and then here's where we'd have the rest of our houses. So, house, house, house. That's 3 of them. That's pretty good. And then we have the other 2 way up at the top that we'd have to go connect. Those ones might have to have inside staircases. I don't think there's a good way around. Not particularly. In fact, they're too steep, honestly. I don't want to be staircasing stuff forever. So we're probably going to tear these down. Or at least move them, or I don't fucking know. Maybe. Could something like that actually work? So we'd have it there, it gets to that part, and then it goes down by 1 and connects up into here. Would that work? Let's find out today on Mythbusters, etc. So we go ahead and look at this, and then go down by 1, by another 1, go down to that one. Okay, so not quite. We'd have to we'll have to back up into the mountain and then gain enough kind of distance so that way we could meet up, but yeah, technically that should work. So we'll give that a shot. And we need to be able to get up into there. There we go. Do something like that. Picked up the nice little corner bit here. Sorry, this is an absolute mess, but it's alright. I personally don't care. Well, I do care, but I'm allowed to just not listen to anybody else's opinion if I don't want to, because wow, that's crazy. Like, I'm the one playing and not you, so not that anyone's even said anything. But either way, it should honestly, it's just a work in progress. You know how that goes. It's not going to be done for a long. So we're just working on it every day, a little bit at a time. I am making very good progress, so we're getting there. It should be probably good enough, so then what we would do is that out a little bit. We need to have a little bit of space between them. And You know what? Oh, no, never mind. Perfect. I thought this wasn't quite the right part, but no, looks like we nailed it. Totally planned, etc. Yeah, very good at planning. Actually, not too terrible at it, but some of this definitely is luck more than other parts. That's pretty reasonable, I'd say. It fits in pretty nicely, and good. So, we'd have staircases go up into here, it'd flatten out of this area. Staircases here, and then it goes up into here, and then boom, fence, 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 and then fence all the way up. And that's where our fences would end, so that's how we get that one at least. Now this one, also pain in the ass, no fucking clue this time, but like for real. But I do want it to be there because it's at least cool. So we'll go ahead and head up there and see what we can do. See what we working with. Wouldn't be nothing too terrible, I think, right? Again, sorry about how ugly this looks now, but I kind of have to, kind of has to be so I can make it look better in the future. But it will get there. We'll go ahead and go. Stuck on the side of the wall for a moment. Down. We need to turn now. We don't have another. Farther away a little bit. Ah, we appear into the mountain that I forgot I actually was hollow. Interesting. See that? Oh, actually, hold up. What we can do is we can make this part of the actual castle a bit in that case. So we'll have to I guess we'll use red just because I need some kind of placeholder. So what we'll do is we'll kind of have this. We'll use our to represent our castle bits. We'll probably use like red, but because this one's kind of on a weird border, we're gonna use like red and yellow, just to show that hey, this one's a double. So this one's both for this part. So we need to keep the theming of like what we've already got already, but this is for the castle. Like it's a whole separate thing. So we need to make sure to keep that in mind. Uh, Alrighty, cool. Then sticking out, but that's only temporary. Here's our shit to actually get up there to do stuff. But and then again, this is temporary. This is just so I can get up here quicker. I've got a part that connects up to here for another floor or whatever. And that part might just straight up get deleted at some point, so don't hold your breath on that one. That one might be a little bit more temporary. Kind of was a complaint, but that should, in theory, that should be every major connection point I need. So, and obviously we can't have like a way in here connecting up to the castle. That would be dumb, unless this is literally part of it by accident. It's not. There's a lot of smoke I'm smelling, so I'm gonna guess somebody's trying to cook or cooking something. Who knows? As long as there's not a fire alarm, it's probably okay. Damn, they have got to turn on the fan. No, it seems like we're good. This is on separate thing. Don't need to be worried about. We have every other part under the sun that we could want. Yep. That's cool. We can get everywhere that we want with just these little bits. and we're just gonna go ahead and kind of glide over into here and see what we're working. Go ahead and take a little step back. Again, these bozos probably shouldn't be able to hit me. No, that's it's looking pretty solid. Again, the dirt on the actual parts and any of these other random blocks is going to represent our fencing and all that. But in terms of the actual like structure, like with the connections and all that, I think they're a good width. I think they do help break out the mount a lot. They help break it up quite a bit. When I have like a window up there, but I want to have a window up there, and all these kind of look pretty cool. So the only other part I think we're missing is on this side over here. I want like one or two. Not a necessity. Probably won't actually do it, but I think it would help. So we'll have to look into that. Man, we got a lot of everything. Very cool. Very happy about that gunpowder farm. That's the first time I properly built one, but more or less, that's another very like consequential area done. So like we've got a lot of shit we're working with here now. Got enough planning done for today if I really wanted to go do other shit or but I'm liking the way the actual shape is of the bridges. Like it's functional and it actually looks pretty neat. Block choice is gonna be very fucking important to ensure that this doesn't like stick out very bad. Like I want it to stick out, but I want it to stick out in a way that it's like a cool feature that like sticks out and it makes sense, but not like stick out like damn, that's the ugliest fucking block choice and color I have ever fucking thought. Actually no, nothing can really go over to here. We might be able to hollow out some stuff and put in like a window or something, but because that connects back up to the city and that's obviously that part we are gonna have to cut our losses. So we'll have to remember. And then this could be more of a mining city, like we talked about. So a lot of that needs to be hollowed. We can maybe have a couple of like buildings just kind of that go up for like ore refinery or food. But we've gotten the beach cottages laid out. We've gotten the mountain side laid out. We just know stuff's gonna go here. So that's like 4 out of other number that I can't think of, either 7 or 8. So let's go work on the farming one. Back away. Some terracotta. Because we had to back away this extra terracotta. But it's a very nice foundation. So it'll look better, obviously, once it's built, but I mean, the idea is there. I think it's pretty solid. It'll look better once it's built, as I've just said 15 fucking times, but that's gonna take some time. And, we have plenty of time to work on that. I just need to make sure I have other stuff. I will never not have other stuff to do, but yeah, nice cut through point at least. Good. Now it connects back up to this market as well. And we can't really do anything with this land because it's too thin, and I want this to be more of an exclusive thing. We might actually get rid of this part entirely. That way I can kind of get rid of this and use a little bit more. Maybe. Who knows? I don't. And then all that is still mine. Now we have that part that's left, and then we have the other mountains, and then we have the farmer area. We got that, the mining village, and the farming area. So we're halfway done, pretty much. So that's pretty neat. We've got 4 more. We've completed 3, so we got like 7 pretty. Oh, and then the fishing village. Actually, we got 5, so we're technically not way yet. But that's a whole ass village I'm building from the ground up. That one we'll save for last because it'll be a little bit more involved than just outlining. So we'll have to take our rain check on that. But now we'll probably map out some buildings for the undersea mining area down here, and then for the farming, the farming one's not really too bad. We're just gonna have like 3 houses inside of that hill, and it's generally gonna be very open. It's gonna be a lot more of a kind of like atmospheric area. So there's not really gonna be too many houses or buildings in there. There's gonna be like 1 or 2, but but everything else is going to be open. It's going to be a lot more like decoration focused. And actually, this isn't, as I'm sitting down and thinking about it, I don't know if I want houses to, because what the fuck? Why would, why? So we probably won't have houses here. We'll still have shit here, but not really houses or even buildings for that matter, because it's more of a port. So maybe we'll come back to this one at a later date. But I mean, of course, we have some obvious like things like here, for example, we got that one. You know, I guess we can do a little bit just to at least make sure I don't forget that one. Pretty good. We got some lighting. Maybe we got like another space up here in the corner I can work with. Also acts as like another good cut through point for the actual villagers. Like my bridge can stay separate, but they can still have like a way in between. See if that theory holds up. Do it. Where am I? Good enough. This will just be like too wide. Actually, it'll have to be 4 wide. So we turn, and then now they have a nice way up in here. Again, this will all be fenced off, so they shouldn't actually be able to get really out of stone now. That's how you want to do it, huh? Oh, because I put the rest of it away, duh. You know how this goes. We get some fences in place and cut out. Here we go. Be able to do something like this, and then we haven't connected up. There we go. That's pretty solid. Alrighty. And then again, we can do some terraforming and all that here. But then this still leaves my part to be my part. Well, because we just need like this thin little slice realistically to be mine. So we'd have like fences here, and then the rest of this can still be villager shit. But this needs to be mine. Well, God, I don't know. We need to figure something out. Maybe it's 'cause I want these two parts to be connected up, because so where all the woodcutting shit's gonna go. So what we'll probably have to do is get rid of this chunk of land. Probably actually relocate our fences to be in front of here so they can't get over here. We can keep the fence gates here, but I might just move the bridge or delete it altogether. Well, we'll probably move it. Like we'll probably just make it go up a lot higher, make it a lot more like aesthetically. But it needs to be reworked. It was just a temporary thing, so I could just walk straight out to one. But now that's not too much of a necessity anymore. I can just mass produce fireworks. Now, where was our exit? We got Phantom. You all yeah, shut the fuck up, lad ass. You fucking ass, get out of here. I'll go ahead and sleep. But, yeah, not too many buildings for the undersea mining part, since they don't really need to live there. Because I should probably have, like, an area or two where they actually don't live, they just go there to work, which is what market's there for. That's what this is here for. Some of these will be storage, some of these might not even be used. Like that one probably won't be used, but that one and that one most likely are going to be. And direct tunnel. Add that. There we go. I'll do something like that. Should be enough. Now we got a tunnel that properly connects, and this is just for the villagers. I could actually probably have my area, like use this tunnel as well, just for me, since it's still really close anyway. So we'll probably get rid of that bridge in its entirety. But we'll do maybe a little bit of something like this, and then again, some of this is terraforming, a lot of this is fencing, but we need better terraforming to meet up with this part and all of this underside and shit. We can probably cover this back up, considering this unfortunately didn't matter, but that's alright. Why it's being cut. And then, we would just have some shit to match it up relative, look good. And then all this is just some easier shit for it to get over. So nothing too difficult. Nothing too groundbreaking. Probably just connect up this. There we go. I'd say that's pretty solid. Alrighty, yeah, structure makes enough sense. We can get rid of some of the sand here. And, we would have some of the apprentice. Then, we'd have our grass spread and we'd seal some of that up there. This area is pretty much solid. We would just have to replace, obviously, with appropriate blocks, but we can go ahead and seal off some. Get rid of some of our stuff here and there. Add in some lighting. Deal. But we need to ensure that still can't get out through here. This stuff should be wide enough for them to pretty comfortably fit. We might have to bulk the outside up just. Yeah, we'll have to bulk this up just. Shut up, Dolphin. Here, I think that should help. And then we'll carve away just like a very small bit just to do some trimming, and then this whole thing would have to be completely re-terraformed. For all the wood cutting and whatnot that has to happen. That has to be implied at least. There we go. And the reason these parts are still 2 up is, again, we want this to intentionally have some kind of gap, so. But this should be wide enough here for a lot of. Probably gonna have a fence gate here so I can actually comfortably get in and out. But I have to like break that or whatever. Or, be here so it doesn't mess with the torches or anything like that, but you get the idea. So we would just pretty much wrap this around. Or actually, we keep this intact pretty much. We would just delete like this little chunk here. And then, we would have fences here. Then the beach has to end at some point, so. We'll have to get some more sand to sink it into the ground a bit more. Looks like we might actually have just enough yet, so what we'll do is we'll kind of go around these edges here and just take out some of the grass and dirt. There we go. And then it would just be fencing like the whole way. You get the idea. But then we would just have all that, do some stuff here or whatever. This definitely needs to get bulked out a little bit more because there's not exactly a whole lot of space. Well, it doesn't need to get bulked out, but we need to do a little bit here, put some stuff away. Gotta make sure they got enough height on them, or enough length or width or whatever the fuck. So that should be okay. I don't see it getting too much worse than that. And we just maybe cut a little bit. And then we're going to be making an entire coastline. So I think reasonably it's going to end here. And then all that stuff is going to come out to be mine. So we'll be like literally like making a whole nother like coast to connect up to this point. And then we'll probably partition it here. I still have my own area. But yeah, we need to redo a lot of this so it's good enough for growing trees and whatnot. Or that it's trees. And we'll actually have trees up there. Obviously, I won't be cutting any of them down. Like I'll still be using my own tree farm over there, but this is pretty solid. So don't have too many complaints, honestly. So it has been an hour and 47 minutes already. So to recap, we got that area done because I don't need too many buildings. We've gotten this whole area done, just the outlines, not actually building shit. We got the whole beach cottage area done. Mining village can happen at a later date. This needs to be completely re-terraformed next time, and we need to work on the farmer shit too next. But we've gotten a little bit less than half of the lot of the main like building done. That's cool. So once we get the other outlines done, that's when we can probably start picking out like block palettes and things like that. You just delete some of this. I should be close enough to pretty much get everything that I need to on all the corners to update it, so I shouldn't have to really go anywhere. Yeah, like you can literally see the you can see the updated amount of outlines we got, and especially down here, I do like the and it'll look better when we have some better choices, but and we have some better blocks, but I do like the shape of it at least. But obviously, again, we're going to be choosing different things. You know how that goes. We might put like a odd house like here or there for the mining area, which is some kind of extra buildings. We do have a lot of like nice like blank space here we can work with. But farming area in there. We need to make a whole new coastline, and we've pretty much gotten everything else done. So I'm gonna go ahead and call it there for today. It is day 653, and we got a nice bit done. But either way, thank you guys again for watching. This is the next episode, which might not be for a little bit, because again, I should start studying on some shit. So we got a bunch of shit that needs to happen, but that's all right. We got plenty of time. But yeah, I hope to catch you guys later. Good night and good luck. Well, not really good night. It's only 5:40 Eastern, but yeah, it's fine. Either way.